Things got tense when someone brought up the old friction between Yandy and Rasheeda. Yandy opened up about feeling unsupported, saying she wished Rasheeda had shown up for her more and had her back when it counted. But Rasheeda barely acknowledged the comment. She brushed it off like it was nothing. Now Rasheeda's got both hands in the air, and if you know her, you know that when she starts waving that massive ring around, it means she is about to make a point, loud and clear, the moment. She started swinging that hand, it was clear. She did not care one bit. She made it loud and bold. I am not friends with you, or you. The only person she was riding for now was Kirk, full name and all, with that dramatic flair. It felt like everything was spiraling. You could see it on her face. Rasheeda had mentally checked out. Her eyes rolled so hard, it was like she traveled back in time to when Kirk gifted her those infamous 3 earrings. The deeper we dig, the more Rasheeda starts to look like exactly who K. Michelle warned us about. A chi. Woman loyal to no one but herself. It is giving serious misery loves company energy. And now, Rasheeda just lit the internet on fire by seemingly confirming the rumors about Mendeecees cheating. Ever since Kurt hinted that Jasmine's claims about Mendeecees being a little too friendly with other women might be legit, he and Mendeecees have been at each other's throats non-stop. The tension boiled over into Rasheeda and Yandy's so-called friendship, if you can even call it that. Rasheeda made it crystal clear. She and Yandy were never real friends off camera. According to her, what people saw on TV was just for show. Me and Yandy never had that kind of bond, she said. We do not talk about our marriages. We are just in the same social circles. That is it. There are levels to friendship, and she has her close circle. I have mine. When I go through things, my real friends hold me down. Not for clout or when the cameras are rolling, but for real, in private. So if she thinks she has been loyal to me, I am just asking, where were you when I needed you? Now Rasheeda is doubling down, taking shots not just at Yandy, but also at her marriage. She flat out accused Mendeecees of being unfaithful all along, even claiming he has a sugar baby everyone already knows about. And if there is one thing Yandy does not take lightly, it is anyone speaking on her husband or her family. It is no surprise that Rasheeda's recent comments have only intensified the already tense and dramatic situation between her and Yandy. In fact, her words did not just stir the pot. They completely flipped it over, spilling everything into the open and turning what had already been a fragile, shaky friendship into a full-blown, no-holds-barred war. What started as subtle shade and simmering tensions has now escalated into public shots, accusations, and layers of betrayal that no one saw coming this hard or this fast. The fallout between these two women has gone from quiet distance to explosive confrontation, and fans are watching in disbelief as years of alleged sisterhood seem to unravel in real time. The truth is, both Rasheeda and Yandy have never exactly been strangers to drama. Longtime viewers of Love and Hip Hop know that both women have been seasoned players in the reality TV world. They have mastered the art of conflict, strategically throwing jabs, lobbing passive-aggressive comments, and then stepping back as if they were merely innocent bystanders to the chaos they helped create. It is part of the reality TV playbook. Stir things up, deny involvement, and then claim the moral high ground. But even with all the drama, there was still an unspoken expectation that through the mess, these two women would at least stand, united in the face of shared struggle. And that is where the disappointment hits hardest for fans. Because if there was one thing that connected Rasheeda and Yandy beyond the cameras and catchphrases, it was the emotional weight of public humiliation. These two women, both deeply embedded in the Love and Hip Hop legacy, have faced years of scrutiny, heartbreak, and shame because of the very men they stood beside. Whether it was Rasheeda's exhausting saga with Kirk, whose cheating scandals and side babies have played out like soap opera arcs, or Yandy's long, complicated relationship with Mendeecees, which has included everything from legal drama to loyalty tests, both women have had to walk through fire in front of millions. So, with that shared experience, most fans believed that, no matter what else happened, Rasheeda and Yandy would understand each other in ways that others could not. Their bond might not have been the most affectionate or publicly warm, but there was a sense that they had each other's backs simply because they had been through similar storms. When one was attacked, the other would rise to defend. When judgment came from the outside world, they would stand shoulder to shoulder, if only for the sake of empathy. But now, that illusion has crumbled. Rasheeda's recent behavior, her decision to side-eye Yandy, publicly question her relationship, and validate gossip that could easily be used to tear Yandy down, has left a sour taste. To many, it felt like a betrayal not just of Yandy as a friend, but of the silent pact they had as women who had endured the same kind of pain. And the fact that this attack came from someone who knows exactly how brutal public scrutiny can be, that is what truly stings. Worse still, it appears that Rasheeda is not backing down. Instead of offering clarity or expressing regret, she has doubled down, fueling the narrative that Yandy and Mendeecees' marriage is fake, that loyalty is conditional, and that everything viewers thought they knew about their sisterhood was merely for show. It is a jarring shift, especially when you remember how loyal Yandy had been to Rasheeda in the past, avoiding friendships with Kirk's accusers, defending her from critics, and even staying silent when others questioned Rasheeda's decisions in her marriage. For Yandy, the betrayal cuts deep, and while she has not always been perfect in her approach or immune to gossip herself, her anger seems rooted in real hurt. She had Rasheeda's back when no one else did, and now, when she needs the same energy returned, she is being met with distance, judgment, and dismissiveness. That kind of emotional betrayal, especially after years of shared hardship, hits on a different level. It is no longer just about petty reality TV beef. It is about trust, loyalty, and the realization that someone you once called a friend never saw you the same way. Rasheeda's actions have opened a wound that will not be easy to close, and fans are left questioning how many of the relationships portrayed on screen have any real substance behind them at all. In the end, both women might continue to dominate headlines and stir reactions online, but what they have lost in this mess might be more valuable than ratings or social media likes. They have lost the benefit of the doubt, and in a world where everyone is already so quick to tear each other down, watching two women who should understand each other better than most rip each other apart is more than just messy TV. It is tragic. Yandy has always stood 10 toes down for Rasheeda, even when Rasheeda was not physically present. One major reason Yandy never entertained Jasmine was out of loyalty. She chose not to vibe with someone who had disrespected Rasheeda's marriage. But now it seems like Yandy may have been riding for the wrong one all along. Because the moment Jasmine shifted her focus toward Mendeecees, Rasheeda wasted no time flipping the script. She quickly jumped in and started dragging Yandy and Mendeecees' marriage through the mud, casting doubt and throwing shade without hesitation. I would like for you and your husband, or a boyfriend girl, whatever it y'all call it, to get on the same page. I'm not even sure if they're legally married or not. Am I the only one who thinks that Rasheeda has been dying to do something like this? For the longest time, she and Kirk made it clear that everything that came out of Jasmine's mouth was a lie. If you believed anything Jasmine had to say, then in Rasheeda's eyes, you were automatically labeled the opposition. But the second Jasmine turned her accusations toward Mendeecees, suddenly her words were seen as gospel. Yandy could not help but notice the double standard. If Kirk was going to claim that everything Jasmine said held weight, then he had to accept that her claims about him were also true. And as for Rasheeda, Yandy made it clear, that's your woman, your baby mother, you deal with her. Leave me out of it. Meanwhile, Rasheeda seemed to be thoroughly enjoying watching Yandy squirm under the pressure of those cheating allegations. She made no effort to hide her satisfaction and did not hesitate to call Yandy out for shielding Mendeecees from criticism. For someone who had always stood by Rasheeda's side, Yandy was caught off guard by the sudden cold shoulder. It reached a boiling point when Yandy and Mendeecees had to sit down with Rasheeda and Kirk to hash things out. Rumors were flying. Women claiming to have tattoos of Mendeecees' name, supposed videos circulating, and Yandy made it clear she was not here to tell anyone about their man. But what stung most was Rasheeda's denial. She claimed she knew nothing about Jasmine's drama with Yandy, only for it to come out later that she had known all along and chose to lie about it. From the beginning, it was clear Rasheeda believed there was some truth to the accusations. She even distanced herself further by saying that she and Yandy were never real friends and that no loyalty was required between them. But here's what confused everyone. How can you suddenly call yourself A friend when you never checked in during the Jasmine situation? When things were crumbling for Yandy, Rasheeda was silent. And that silence spoke volumes. Yandy had stood by Rasheeda and Kirk when the world turned on them, defending their marriage when no one else would. And now she was left wondering, why did she go to war for someone who never truly saw her as a friend? It was clear their friendship was in ruins. The tension built until Yandy could no longer hold back her emotions. She finally snapped, raising her voice, eyes blazing with hurt. "So we not friends now? I have been in every face for you." That explosion was years of loyalty, betrayal, and pent-up anger finally bursting through. ChatGPT said, "Nobody really knows who left that room first, but one thing was for sure. Once that tension hit its peak, the kickback came to a screeching halt. The good vibes were gone, the night was done, and the drama had taken over. And Rasheeda? She was not about to let Yandy get the last word. She took that fallout as a green light to speak her truth, uncensored and unapologetic. From that point on, it was no holds barred. Rasheeda wasted no time airing out the skeletons in Yandy and Mendeecees' closet, sharing the kind of details they definitely did not want out in the open. She threw major shade, referring to them as nothing more than boyfriend and girlfriend, even after 2 wedding ceremonies. Then, without blinking, she dropped the bombshell that several people had come to her over the years with claims that Mendeecees had been unfaithful. "This is what I will say," she declared. "I have seen things. People have brought me things. Let me just say it like that." When asked if she ever confronted Yandy with this information, Rasheeda simply replied, "Nope." "And why not?" "Because I don't move like that." But that silence was not protection. It was ammunition. Because even though Yandy tried to dismiss the accusations, the streets of Atlanta had long been whispering about Mendeecees' loyalty. Word was, he had always kept a side piece. And through it all, Kirk had Rasheeda's back, standing beside his wife as she peeled back the layers of a friendship that was clearly never what it seemed. Kirk might have had even more to say about Mendeecees than Rasheeda did about Yandy. He openly told Mendeecees to clean up the mess with his other baby mamas and accused both him and Yandy of trying to stir up drama with him and Rasheeda just to stay relevant on Love and Hip Hop. Imagine that they were all supposed to be friends at one point. Now any chance of peace between these two couples is crumbling fast and without hesitation. Once Mendeecees saw Rasheeda and Kirk spilling tea on Carlos King's platform, he hit Instagram with a fiery response. "What kind of man keeps another? Man's name in his mouth? SMH. I'm about to start disrespecting everybody. If you let your woman speak on me, then she can get it too." He did not stop there. "I don't speak on anyone's polyamorous situations. I mind my business because I honestly do not care. Stop mentioning me and mine." And Yandy? She was not letting that ride. She fired back at Rasheeda, questioning how she could criticize anyone else's marriage when she continues to praise and stand by Kirk, despite his repeated cheating. Yandy made it clear, Rasheeda had no business commenting on other people's relationships when her own has been the subject of so much scrutiny. If there was ever a sliver of hope for a reunion between the two, that window is now slammed shut. Yandy cannot unsee or unhear any of it, and there is no way she will ever view Rasheeda the same again. While both ladies have been known to stir the pot, this time, Rasheeda took it to another level. And for many fans, the whole situation is starting to feel eerily similar to the way Rasheeda once handled things with K. Michelle. Some patterns just do not change. Rasheeda is catching serious heat now, and for good reason. People are calling her out for picking and choosing when Jasmine's words matter. When Jasmine aired out Kirk's business, Rasheeda dismissed it. But when the same Jasmine turned her focus to Mendeecees, suddenly her word is gospel. That double standard is not sitting right with anyone. And despite all the rumors about Mendeecees, there's still no actual proof, just whispers and speculation. Yet Rasheeda is running with it like it's fact. A lot of fans are over it. They want Rasheeda to get exactly what she's asking for, to be left with only Kirk in her corner. If that's her ride or die, then let it ride. People are saying she deserves that loneliness now that she's shown her true colors. Even folks who are not necessarily fans of Yandy, some calling her Yandandy Luther King as shade, are agreeing that Rasheeda took it too far. The way she flipped so quickly, threw Yandy under the bus, and showed zero loyalty has left a bad taste. It's giving opportunist energy, not friendship. What do you think? Did Rasheeda go too far? Was this fallout bound to happen eventually? Drop your thoughts in the comments, and if you're here for more tea, make sure to like and subscribe because the drama is just heating up.